Hello, students. How are you all? I hope all of you are fine. Today, I'm going to start the chapter which is required for your periodic test 2, and that is chemical effects of electric current. This chapter is very interesting. It's going to be interesting for you as this is totally conceptual based chapter. If your conception is clear about this chapter, any kind of question can be answered easily. And if not, then you are going to have this chapter as a tough one. So try to concentrate in the explanation part. You need not to mug up the question answers if your conception is clear about this chapter. That's why I'm telling this chapter is going to be interesting for you. So let us begin. I'm going to start with the basic conception which you know about this, that is conductors and non-conductors. Non-conductors are also called insulators. So, the materials which allow electric current to pass through them easily are called good conductors of electricity. For example, metals. So, metals are good conductors of electricity that you got in metals and non-metals chapter also. The materials which do not allow electricity to pass through them are called non-conductors of electricity. For example, rubber, plastic, etc. Now the examples which I have given, that metals and then plastics, rubber, these all are solid substances. But do you know that liquids also can conduct electricity? Yes, the liquids, some liquids also can conduct electricity. The liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acids, bases and salts in water. That means when we dissolve any acid, all acids are soluble in water. So whenever we dissolve any acid in water, some bases are also soluble in water like sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. So those and the salts. Salts like common salt, copper sulfate, these all are salts. If we dissolve these substances in water, then this liquid becomes a conductor of electricity. That means electricity can pass through these liquids easily. So for example, sulfuric acid solution, sodium hydroxide solution, common salt solution, these are conductors of electricity. These liquids are conductors of electricity. There are some differences in the conduction of electricity by solids and liquids. Some solids and some liquids can conduct electricity, but there are some differences between conduction in solids and conduction in liquids. These are, first one is conduction in solids, electricity is carried by electrons. That means electricity is conducted with the help of electrons, free electrons. In solids, if there are some free electrons, then those solids can conduct electricity. So metals have some free electrons, so metals can conduct electricity. But in liquids, electricity is carried by ions. So electrons are the charge carriers in case of solids, and ions are the charge carriers in case of liquids. Electrons are some negatively charged particles present within the atom. Electrons are present inside the atom. These are negatively charged particles. But ions can be positively charged also and negatively charged also. So before we go further, we will understand what are ions. What are ions? An atom or group of atoms that has an electric charge are called ions. So, if an atom or a group of atoms that has an electric charge. That means it can be positive also, it can be negative also. Those are called ions. For example, H positive. H means one atom of hydrogen atom. And if hydrogen atom consists of one positive charge, that means it is a positively charged ion. Cu2 positive, that means copper. Copper atom having two positively charged particles, two positive charges. So copper ion, and its symbol is Cu2 positive. Atoms are of two types. Positive ions are also called cations, and these positive ions are formed by the loss of electrons. Like hydrogen positive, that means one atom of hydrogen loses one electron. One electron it loses, and thus it has one positive charge. So H positive ion. Sodium is also a positively charged cation. Sodium ion is cation because sodium atom loses one electron, which is negatively charged particles, from its atom, and it becomes positively charged. Next one is negative ion. Negative ions are also called anions, and anions are formed by the gain of electrons. If an atom or group of atoms gains or accepts one negatively charged electron from any other atom, then it becomes negatively charged. Like oxygen gains 2 electrons and becomes 2 negative ion. Chlorine accepts one negatively charged electron from another atom and becomes chloride ion, that means Cl negative ion. So clear about it? Next difference is when electricity is passed through a solid, then no chemical change takes place. But when electricity is passed through a liquid, then a chemical change takes place. Chemical change, as you got in class 7, that chemical changes are permanent change. So the chemical change takes place in liquid. Suppose a conducting liquid like sodium hydroxide solution. If electricity is passed to sodium hydroxide solution, then chemical change will take place to form another new substance. So sodium hydroxide will not remain as it is, it will change to some other substance. Depending upon the other factors are also there that will be discussed later on. So some chemical changes will take place when electricity is passed to a conducting liquid. But when electricity is passed through a solid, no chemical change takes place. That means if electricity passed through, you can see for example the very common one, electricity is passing through the electric wires. Electric wires are made up of metals, but you can't see any kind of chemical change taking place there. Copper wires remain copper only, no new substance is formed there. So it is not chemical change. From the previous conception I am telling you that you cannot observe any color change or any permanent change occurring there when electricity is passed through a wire, electric wire, which is made of metals. Metals are conductors, so electricity can pass through them, but no chemical change takes place in that. We cannot observe any kind of changes, permanent change there. Okay, but when electricity is passed through liquids, conducting liquids, it can be acidic solution or basic solution or salt solution, any chemical change will take place. You will observe permanent change in the liquids. So these are two important differences between conduction in solids and conduction in liquids. Now we are going to understand some terms with the help of their definitions. First one is electrolytes. New term for you, I think. Electrolytes. What are electrolytes? The liquids which conduct electricity are called conducting liquids or electrolytes. So common name of conducting liquids is electrolytes. For example, sulfuric acid solution, vinegar solution, copper sulfate solution, these are all electrolytes. Okay. Electrolytes are of two types, strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes definition is it is a liquid which conduct electricity very well. For example, sulfuric acid solution, hydrochloric acid solution, strong acid solution, strong basis solution, common salt solution, these all are good conductors of electricity. That means strong electrolytes. And weak electrolytes, definition is it is a liquid which conduct electricity to a lesser extent. That means strong electrolytes can conduct electricity to greater extent and weak electrolytes conduct electricity but in lesser extent. Examples of weak electrolytes are vinegar solution, lemon juice solution. So you can see the difference. Strong acid solutions are strong electrolytes. Weak acid solutions are weak electrolytes. Lemon juice contains citric acid, then vinegar contains acetic acid. So these acetic acid, citric acid, these are weak acids because these are organic acids. So organic acid solutions are weak electrolytes. Organic acids are weak acids, so weak electrolytes. Okay. Next new term for you, that is electrodes. What are electrodes? A solid electrical conductor through which an electric current enters or leaves. Something like a dry cell or an electrolytic cell is called an electrode. That means electrodes are some solid substances which is required in case of this chemical effects of electric current, to carry out chemical effects of electric current. And these are solid substances through which an electric current enters and leaves, something like a dry cell. Okay. Electrodes are carbon rods or metal rods. Electrodes can be made by carbon rods. Carbon like graphite. Graphite is the only non-metal which can conduct electricity. You got in metals and non-metals chapter. So those carbon rod or carbon means graphite rod and metal rods. All metals are good conductors of electricity. So carbon rods or metal rods are used as electrodes to carry out this chemical effects of electric current. Electrodes are also of two types, anode and cathode. Anodes are the positively charged electrodes and cathodes are the negatively charged electrodes. So the carbon rod or the metal rod which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is termed as anode because it will be positively charged, because we are connecting the electrodes with positive terminal of the battery, and that's why it is positive. It will be positively charged electrode, and positively charged electrodes are called anodes. And the electrode which will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, this will be negatively charged and will termed as cathode. Okay. Electrolytic cell. This is also new for you. Electrolytic cell. Definition of electrolytic cell is an arrangement having two electrodes kept in a conducting liquid or electrolytes in a vessel is called an electrolytic cell. An arrangement when there will be two electrodes, one positively charged electrode or anode and one negatively charged electrode, that is cathode, kept in a conducting liquid. That means both the electrodes will be dipped or kept inside electrolyte, and this arrangement is called electrolytic cell. See this one in this diagram, you can see this is an electrolytic cell. Okay, this is an electrolytic cell. Here you can see these two are electrodes. This is anode because this electrode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and this is cathode because this electrode is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So these are two electrodes kept in electrolyte. This is this liquid which is kept in the electrolytic tank. That means any vessel where this arrangement is kept, is made. So this liquid is electrolyte and the full arrangement is made in electrolytic cell. This whole arrangement is called electrolytic cell. Understood? An electrolytic cell consists of two electrodes. One is anode and another is cathode. Anode is the electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and cathode is the electrode which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. And both the electrodes are kept in a liquid which is conducting liquid, and it is called electrolyte. And all these things are kept in electrolytic tank. That means the vessel is termed as electrolytic tank. Much for today.